Texas pride, a rowdy bunch of Cowboys. It doesn't need a name to be a rivalry. This one has become as intense as they get.
Texas loses another heartbreaker.
The Pokes have won the last 5 in Austin and are loaded again this year with the nation's leading rusher
Chuba Hubbard will take it the distance.
and leading receiver. For the kid born to play QB in Texas, enough is enough.
We know damn well what's coming in here next week.
There's only so much poking, prodding, and losing the Longhorns can take. Like a new tale from the Old West, the Cowboys cross the state line to try and mess with Texas.
Howdy from Austin, where the feels like temperatures are in triple digits tonight. Welcome to Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Wells Fargo. And tonight's Big 12 opener between the Oklahoma State Cowboys and the Texas Longhorns. It's become an underrated rivalry because the Pokes have dominated in recent years. And welcome, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit. Remember me?
Yeah.
Good to be back with you.
Good to see you.
We had this game last year in Stillwater. It was wild. This year, Texas has come up short in one hyped home game to LSU. They preach wanting to be elite. You can't be elite if you can't beat the Cowboys tonight.
And this is huge for both teams. It's not just for Texas trying to avenge some of those losses. Oklahoma State, a team nobody really talked about in July and August, all of a sudden has some newfound confidence. So it's going to be a fun game to watch.
It is. Now, meanwhile, can Texas get another huge performance from Sam Ehlinger, who's been playing at a Heisman level, throwing the ball just beautifully?
Yeah, he's just in command of the offense. A third year of running this system. You watch quarterbacks, whether it's on Sunday in the NFL or in college, they just look like they know where to go with the ball before the ball is snapped. That's how Sam is executed up to this point. In the LSU game, he fought valiantly against Joe Burrow in that game, just to come up a little bit short. So his leadership will have to be on display tonight because I think Oklahoma State can score with him.
They got weapons, but the big 6'6" receiver, Colin Johnson, is still out. Hamstring re-aggravated this week. He's going to miss one more game. Oklahoma State has the nation's leading rusher in Chuba Hubbard and top receiver in Tylan Wallace. We'll talk about those guys in a minute. Bevo 15 will be standing guard in what is a construction zone. And the Longhorn fans want to see if they can reestablish home field dominance over this Oklahoma State team. Spencer Sanders, a dynamic young quarterback for Oklahoma State, but it's really about the running back wide receiver combo, which they always seem to have a good one.
Oh, Mike Gundy in his 15th year. You go back over the years, you're right. That combination makes this offense very tough to defend. Starts with Chuba Hubbard. They're going to try to stretch Texas's defense tonight and allow him to use his vision to have those cutback lanes where he has outstanding patience and then the acceleration. Not to get 10 or 20. He's looking to go 70, 80, 90 with the speed that he has. So that's the running game. And then you have Tylan Wallace, who leads the nation in receiving. And he's usually known for downfield acrobatic catches. This year, with a new quarterback, he's had a lot of opportunities to make catches underneath coverage and then show where he's grown, where he can make plays after the catch with tremendous speed. Here's the X factor tonight in my mind. Spencer Sanders against the blitz. Texas loves to come after you with pressure, especially with the linebackers. If Sanders can keep plays alive, will Texas have anybody back to slow him down from creating and extending plays? That, to me, as I say, is the X factor for the Pokes tonight.
Maria Taylor on the field has the Pokes coach, Mike Gundy.
Thanks, Chris. All right, Coach, the last 5 times you've been to Austin, you left with a win. What's the key to making it 6 in a row tonight?
Well, we just got to stay in our box, you know. It's good to get off to a fast start, but we just got to do what we do. You know, we've done the same thing for a long time. Just got to make plays, stay on top of the game, try to limit some of what Ellen's doing. Now, he's doing a lot better now.
What's the key to your offense getting off to that fast start you just described?
Well, we need to be able to rush the football. It'll be interesting to see how they play us, if they sell out to the rush, but it'd be good to start rushing the ball.
All right, thanks, Coach.
You bet.
And before Gundy got there, Oklahoma State had 2 wins over Texas. He's got 7 wins over the Longhorns, all in the last 9 years.
And yeah, I mean, he's been an amazing coach, and you can feel his energy and his players playing off of that energy. So it's talked about the last 4 meetings, what he's done when he's brought his team into Austin with an expectation to win games 5 straight times. They've come into this stadium and been able to walk out with a win.
Texas seniors have multiple wins in their careers over every other Big 12 team. 0 against Oklahoma State. Texas won the toss and deferred, so they'll kick it away, and we'll see young Spencer Sanders and the Pokes offense. Cameron Dicker, who has a field goal range of up to 60 yards, booted a 57-yarder this season. We expect a touchback, even into a pretty good win. And that's why it's returnable at the 3 for L.D. Brown. And the Horns coverage team wrestles him down at the 21. And here comes this dual threat, which is unusual for this program.
Yeah, dual threat brings a whole different element to this offense and what they try to do. He's to play with poise on the road. Remember, he's a redshirt freshman. It's his first big game on the road in conference play. We talked about how he can make plays with his legs, keep those plays alive, and try to find Tylan Wallace downfield with his ability to separate from the secondary of Texas. I think there's a real advantage there for Sanders with Wallace against this secondary, especially the corners from Texas playing a lot of man-to-man.
Chick-fil-A impact players.
Wallace and Chuba and Hubbard we just talked about. And then you have Osai in the middle, 46, and Chris Brown has got to step up. One of the leaders of this defense, 15, be very, very active, rushing the quarterback and defending the run.
Hubbard lined up to the left of Sanders. Tylan Wallace is to the far right. All eyes on the leading receiver in the country so far. Hubbard gets it, and he's bouncing off people in the backfield. The Longhorns penetrate and finally drop him behind the line. That was the safety, Brandon Jones, who got him.
Todd Orlando is the defensive coordinator from Texas, and you and I had a chance with our crew to visit with him. First thing he said in second and third, stop the run. Start with stopping the run. Sell out.
Hubbard again, touchback, gets a block from the quarterback and muscles back to the 20-yard line. They're playing fast already.
Todd Orlando, he's aggressive every week, but especially this week, because with a team that can throw and run, you've got to start by taking away that running game and putting this young quarterback into obvious passing situations like this, where then you can get creative with where the pressure might be coming from.
3rd and 11. Pressured, flushed, fires on the run, and it's complete to Wallace, who has a first down at the 40, active early.
If you're a young receiver, you're going to want to watch Wallace and how he plays this position. By the way, it's a no-no to throw that ball where Sanders threw it, but the hands by Wallace to go up and make the play.
20-yard gain. Now Hubbard has space around the left end, and he reels off about 7.
A tempo, a big part of what Oklahoma State wants to do. They have a new offensive coordinator, and Sean Gleason came over from Princeton. A little bit unorthodox. I would still say, Chris, it's 80 to 85% Mike Gundy. Every time he brings in a coordinator, he allows him to kind of tweak it a bit with some new wrinkles, and that's what Sean Gleason is calling all the plays.
And it's play action on 2nd and short. Sanders flips it, and is a big cushion for Wallace, who makes the catch at the Texas 42.
You get nervous when there's a blitz, then you have a safety over top, and you got Stearns as safety giving a huge cushion to Wallace to show the respect that he has for the deep ball. There's a look at Sean Gleason, the new offensive coordinator.
Hubbard gets the edge. Nice blocking by the receivers. That was Dylan Stoner kind of setting the edge, and it's another first down.
You know, I started in Athens, Georgia, in the SEC this morning, and now I can comfortably say, after 4 plays, Big 12 football, boys. Here we go.
Well, that key completion on 3rd and long has breathed life into this drive. Hubbard's been so busy, they spell him with L.D. Brown, the junior from Dallas. Stoner gets the pop pass around the edge, and Dylan Stoner, their tough, physical, multi-purpose receiver. Another big gain on first down.
Yeah, has an H-back out in front. Backup running back L.D. Brown helping out along with Logan Carter to lead the way. Love this tempo. Has that aggressive Texas defense on its heels right now. They're not setting the tone. Sanders in the offense is.
Tight end was in the backfield as a lead blocker for Brown, but they'll swarm him and drop him for a loss. That was Caden Stearns, the safety.
Deshaun Jamison does a good job of coming up right here. He ends up blitzing on the outside, and that's what forced the play to go back and really took it away. Effort right there, and then eventually Stearns is able to make the play, but it was the ability to get upfield by the backup corner that time, Jamison, who's acting as a nickelback, that made the play.
They got Hubbard a breather. He's back in there on 3rd and 6. Frenetic opening drive. The 9th play coming up. Sanders, pump fake, buying time, now fires down the middle, caught inside the 5 by Landon Wolf. First and goal, Pokes.
How about this kid Sanders? He's a redshirt freshman. We all wondered what kind of poise would he play. This time they use Wallace as a decoy. The tight end takes a couple defenders with him and it opens up underneath to Wolf, and he beats his man, gets just enough separation. But Sanders is in complete command of this drive right now to open the game up for Oklahoma State. Looks great.
Hubbard's got it. A wall of blockers. He makes a quick cut, but is stopped at the 2.
I'll tell you, that's a pretty good effort there by Texas's defense to be able to hold that from getting in. It was Graham, the defensive end from the backside. Because I was looking in the front side, I thought, well, he's got blockers in front of him. He's going to get this to the end zone. But Graham, 49, does a good job of chasing that down.
Wallace singled out to the far left. Ball spotted just outside the 1, second and goal. Hubbard fumbles the ball. It's on the ground. Is diving for it. Sanders is able to come up with it and retain possession.
That looked like, boy, right in the middle of that defense, it looked like Coburn, 99, may have got a hand on that football.
How fast was Sanders to get in there and make the recovery?
I know. Tremendous for him to see it and then not hesitate right there and dive for that football, because that looked like burnt orange all over that. And a Texas recovery.
He closed fast.
He sure did.
Now it's third and goal. Back to the 3.
With his speed, get him on the outside and let him make a play, or you have Wallace one-on-one at the bottom.
Hubbard running right. Penetration again. Tries to cut back. Runs into a burnt orange wall. Joseph Osai, the backer. And Texas makes a strong stand backed up.
Well, their leader, Brandon Jones, makes a great play to get off of a block in the tight end and then into the backfield to slow Hubbard down and allow the rest of that defense to rally. Todd Orlando has to be very, very proud of that effort by the defense. They were backed up near their own goal line, made some plays there, 3 straight plays to force this field goal attempt.
Chip shot for Matt Amendola, solid 3-year kicker. He's 3 for 3 on the young season. The Pokes were so impressive running and throwing, but they got stopped when they get down to the 1-yard line.
And this is where you want your leader to step up and make a play. 19 right there. Watch him fight through a block, get into the backfield, get a hand on Hubbard just enough, and there's the rest of the defense to rally. It's a good job by Texas to get off the field.
Jake McClure, who just held for the field goal, boots it into the end zone. And here comes Sam Ehlinger, who has worked so hard to develop as a passer. He might be the only one who's not a little surprised by how good he's been.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. I think he's pretty confident in what he can do. Accurate throws against a lot of man-to-man tonight. Coach on the field. This is going to be a game that's going to go back and forth. His maturity and leadership are big. And then his toughness. He's healthy this year. I think in the red zone and in short yardage opportunities, he gives him an extra man that Oklahoma State has to account for with his ability to run the football and running through those arm tackles of Oklahoma State.
Natural leaders like a coach on the field. Play clock down at 3. And they hand it off to Keontae Ingram, who slips a tackle. And a nice first down game. Here's the Chick-fil-A impact players for Texas.
The impact players have a lot to do with Ingram because they should be able to run the football. Duvernay in the slot picks up a lot of yards after the catch. Very, very physical. The linebacker play, I think, will be important to be able to stop the run.
Bunglamiga, come on, say it.
I got to practice before you just throw that on me.
It's tough cold. Second and 4.
11.
Empty backfield. Ehlinger back. He gets a 3-man rush. They drop 8 into coverage. Trying to find somebody open. Now he's going to scamper away. He'll elude a tackler. He shows that tremendous leg strength and gets within a yard of the marker. Rodriguez stopped him.
They're trying to do a good job of spying with him. Brock Martin does about as good a job as he can at trying to keep him in the pocket. There's a lot of respect for Sam when he drops back to throw. Not just his arm, but of course his legs.
Need a yard and third down. Ingram had a stutter step in the backfield to avoid penetration, but he will move the sticks across the 35.
And Oklahoma State, I'm talking about the mismatch somewhat at the line of scrimmage, advantage for Texas, but Oklahoma State just kind of gritty, tough. Tyler Lacey in there, 89. They'll do a lot of slanting and movement, try to occupy that offensive line and try to free those linebackers up to make a lot of tackles against Ingram.
Ingram burst to the middle, still running hard out of across the 45. Longhorns moved it 45 yards in 9 plays the first possession before stalling.
Yeah, nice job on the left side by Cosme, 52. Parker Braun, who had that holding call earlier, part of a double team. He's able to work up to the backers. That's the kind of push that I think Tom Herman expects from this offensive line to open those holes up for Keontae Ingram tonight.
So Ellinger will look over. Often he'll get the exact play against the look that Tim Beck and Herman want, but he has a lot of freedom to make the decisions himself. So you won't see him look over every time tonight, Kurt.
Well, I think that tells you about his 3rd year in the system, just the command that he has. And everybody's marveled about how accurate he's been this year and how much better he looks. I thought he personally played pretty good last year, but I think he just looks like a guy who has answers to the questions. A guy that whether he's looking over or he's making a change on his own with protection or getting into the right call, he knows where he's going to go with the football before he even gets the ball in his hands. And that helps you stay on time and in rhythm.
Ingram again. They're finding some creases in the midsection of that Pokes defense, and it's a first down at the 42.
Okay, so what happens to a defense when they get gutted up the middle for 2 or 3 or 4 plays is you can't help it. It's going to affect the eyes of the safeties and the linebackers, and they start getting sucked up to the inside, and that's where you go perimeter runs or get the ball downfield.
Thanks, Roshan Johnson. And the former quarterback who was just taken to this position so naturally. A nice first down game.
And when you have a balanced attack like this and you can run and control the line of scrimmage, all of a sudden those safeties, they fall asleep on their responsibilities downfield, and now you get a one-on-one play downfield and you can make a throw with the accuracy of Sam Ehlinger and take advantage of the one-on-one chances. So you run, and then you can take your chances downfield and throw.
When will we see that first downfield shot? Johnson in the clear. This is a guy in high school who ran it as a quarterback 25, 30 times. So he's no stranger to running the ball, but it's still college football. Good position.
Chris, 2 weeks ago against LSU, Texas offense was sputtering with Ingram, and they brought Johnson in, and I was excited to see this kid who hadn't played running back since he was in 5th grade, what he might do. He brought a spark and an energy to this offense that I think really impressed the coaches, and that's why I think he's the backup running back right now for good, maybe.
He went and asked for the position change. He knew he wasn't going to play much at quarterback. Says, I can help the team. We're shorthanded. They were pretty surprised, and even more surprised that he's shown such quick progress. He's got it again. And muscles for about 3.
I've just got my eyes. The quarterback in me can't help look at the safeties. Harville, Peel, 31. Again, when you're running the ball like this, the safeties are the ones that have to come up and help when he's untouched for 5 or 7 yards. And when you do that, it's very, very risky to leave the big, tall wide receivers like Michael Epps and Brennan Eagles one-on-one.
13 runs, only 2 passes for Texas so far tonight. Ingram again. At 4 yards.
What they're basically saying is until your safeties are going to fully commit, we'll just gladly continue to run 4, 5, 6 yards a clip. And Oklahoma State saying, hey, we'd rather have you do that than hit us for the home run. So you can work your way down the field instead of hitting one of those big passes and then see if you can execute in the red zone.
Well, their top linebacker is Abungmamiga. Is out of the game. We're tending to him on the far sideline. 3rd and 4, final 30 seconds of the first quarter. Ehlinger from the pocket. Across the middle. Complete. Duvernay has another 1st and goal at the 5.
It opens up because they blitz up the middle, and then look at the opening over the middle where the linebacker came from, and Sam Ehlinger almost baited that blitz, just waiting for him to come, knowing that he had the middle right behind that blitz, and Duvernay takes advantage.
A quick first quarter of long drives. Cowboys struck first, but only with a field goal. Texas threatening after 1. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. You ready for the second quarter? Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Wells Fargo. Texas has moved it 60 yards in 8 plays. They have a 1st and goal second. No, it is 1st and goal. The stats monitor is 2 plays behind. Get that fixed. It's overheated. Cowboys defense crowding the line. Ehlinger from the pocket. A long throw to the end zone. Duvernay. No signal. Yes. Touchdown. What a throw.
And what a catch by Duvernay. Great throw, but watch the little toe tap as he catches the ball. Yeah, that's good in the NFL. I think he got 2 feet down. Nice job of putting the ball exactly where you want to put it. That's what hours and hours and hours of practice in the summer when no one's watching do for you. For Sam Ehlinger. Beautiful throw.
They did hours and hours, 2-a-days in the summer practicing stuff like that. And Duvernay just continues to have a monster month. Unusual formation of the PAT. Krzyzewski, the holder, will now kneel down. And here's Cameron Dicker. 66-yard drive. And claim the lead, 7-3. Wondered, would the quarterback run it in? No, just make a beautiful throw and a brilliant catch by Duvernay. Texas on top. Devin Duvernay making his senior season count. Had 2 earlier catches for first downs, then caught the touchdown in his 100th career reception. A slot guy who's pretty fast, very powerful, and the ball skills were sick.
Yeah. I think he is in a great example of having to pay your dues a little bit. Little Jordan Humphrey last year, such a great player for this offense, and he's moved to that slot spot and has really had a great start to the 2019 season.
Dicker boots it away, and in the second quarter has the wind at his back, and it just sails out of the end zone. Maria?
Well, Chris, right now we're watching Spencer Sanders, the redshirt freshman for Oklahoma State, show some poise and leadership over here on the sidelines. Well, he stays centered off the field by doing something a little unique. Since he was 10, he's been a hunter and a fisher. He grew up right northwest of Oklahoma City, and his grandfather used to always take him out into the fields and farms. He was teal duck hunting on Wednesday when I talked to him before practice, and that's just something that he likes to do to get his mind off of football every now and then.
Yeah, he's a self-proclaimed country boy. He goes fishing on Mike Gundy's property. Hubbard running left, and he's got 5 ponds out there, Mike told me, and Spencer can kind of come and go as he wants. He was a little surprised when the other day Spencer kind of just came into the Gundy household, went to the fridge, got himself a drink, unannounced.
That's a pretty good.
I guess you got. He said, Mike, I guess you got to trust him. He said, I very trust him very much.
Yeah, man, that's a nice perk. Have your quarterback over there fishing.
He zips it to the tight end, Jelani Woods, and the big fella barrels out across the 45 for a first down.
Yeah, I think it just tells you a little bit about his personality, and you know, I love that he still does that, even in season. It's his way, as Maria said, to just kind of escape and just kind of alone time for him. It's pretty cool, very cool hobby.
Committed to Oak State, and then Tom Herman got in the plane and tried to get him to decommit and come to Texas. He said, nope, I'm a Cowboy. He's got time in the pocket and lost it downfield, but it's intercepted. Picked off, and the Longhorns want to get back. Backup safety, Montrell Estelle, and the mistake by the freshman.
Man, this is part of the growing process. Texas sits back in zone, and they've got so many defenders back there that this is one of those plays that you would love to see Sanders. At some point, the clock has to go off in his head, and he has to realize that if he takes off, he picks up big yards, 10, 15 yards, and it's not the risk. And this is something that Todd Orlando picked up on in film. He's a young quarterback. He has such confidence that he has to make every play on every play. And that's an example of him trying to make a play instead of just taking off and taking the 10 or 15-yard gain because the Texas defense had dropped out. And that's what Mike Gundy's talking to him about, and that's teaching a freshman. He'll learn from that.
How will he respond next time he gets the football? He can be very, very hard on himself as a temper when he makes a mistake. 37-yard return sets up the Longhorns. Now a reverse. And this is Smith. And the freshman shows the burst around the edge.
Anytime they run a reverse, first thing I do is look up the quarterback, see if he's going to olay or if he's going to put his shoulder into somebody. And Sam puts his shoulder into Malcolm Rodriguez and trying to pick up a block. Did actually a pretty good job of it.
Got 8 yards. You'd expect to be a tough blocker. I mean, he enjoys contact. He's an enthusiastic runner.
Gets him to settle into the game when the more he gets hit early in the game.
Sean Johnson is the back. He's got it, and he'll run right into a wall of Cowboys, able to fight for the first down to the 17.
Now, Texas has been running the ball, obviously, because of the style of defense that Mike Gundy and his defense have decided to employ. But a good matchup tonight will be A.J. Green, number 4, and Darius Williams, number 8, the two corners from Oklahoma State, matching up against these very tall and athletic Texas wide receivers. At times they'll be out there on islands. So far we've not seen that because they're protecting them with the deep safeties, but eventually that'll be a good matchup.
Second red zone trip for the Longhorns. The first was successful. Play clock at 3, 2. They just get it off. Ellinger from the pocket fires, end zone, touchdown, Jake Smith. The very hyped prospect at Arizona, Kirk, has 4 touchdowns already this year.
And Chris, watch Sam Ellinger's eyes keep this safety over to allow him to make that throw right there. The head, move the safety, come right back exactly where you want to throw it on a line for a touchdown.
Speedy slot receiver beat the linebacker of Bogmaniga. That's a tough assignment for a guy who's about 230. Dicker knocks it through. Texas cashes in. The interception by Estelle with a touchdown pass to Jake Smith. 14-3 Horns. That's the Friday practice here. They call it Family Friday. All kind of fun and games. Big fellas playing dodgeball with a football.
First time we saw that was when?
Was it UCLA?
USC.
USC, okay.
Pete Carroll, I remember watching them when they'd get ready for a big game, and it's like, what are they doing? And went by 40 the next day. I was like, keep playing games on Fridays. It's working.
Not going to be many kickoff returns left to right with that wind to the back. 2nd and 9, play action. Sanders has a lot of time, and he'll launch it downfield to Wallace, who does what he does. Comes back, beats 2 defenders, and makes a catch inside the Texas 40.
And that's the thing is they have him double teamed. They're trying to keep 2 defenders on him, and he outruns them, and then goes up and makes the play in traffic. Ball's thrown behind him, so he adjusts back and goes over top of Caden Stearns. That's the beauty for a freshman quarterback to throw to number 2.
Sanders rolls out, fires a short pass into traffic, and the catch is made by Stoner. He's a problem for every defense, but Texas hasn't solved it yet.
No, they put 2 defenders on him. They're trying to double him, take away the inside or the outside move, and he just went right by him.
Hubbard's at the edge. He's got a first down, and he's going to be knocked down inside the 25 by Estelle, who just made the pick.
And just like that first drive, if you're just tuning in, this is what Oklahoma State did. Had a lot of success. They moved the ball right down the field, only to be stopped inside the 5-yard line on a goal line stand and had to settle for a field goal.
Wallace split fire to the right on first down, and it's a reverse. Stoner bouncing off people, chased and dropped way back at the 35 by Jalen Green.
Jalen Green makes this play anticipating and seeing the jet sweep coming around. He sees this and he gets upfield in a hurry, gets through 2 blocks, Wallace and Hubbard, and still makes the play. That's big time.
Still playing fast after the 9-yard loss, and Sanders is loose. He is world-class elusive. And he gets a big chunk of the yardage back. 3rd down and about 7 now.
Design quarterback draw there with Keys leading the way. With Mike Gundy, you never know. I mean, this could be 4-down territory, down 14-3.
They lose 9. They don't care. They're still playing fast. Now they'll slow it down to survey the defense. Hubbard motions back to the right of the quarterback. Plenty of time on the clock.
Wallace right here.
It's a run to Hubbard. He's going to be dropped in the backfield by Taquan Graham. And Texas defense makes another stand.
Graham gets upfield right here and blows the play up. Just is able to get penetration, pushes Galloway right into the backfield, and you don't see Texas defensive linemen typically dominating and making plays, but that time Tom Herman very excited to see that.
So Amendola out again. First one was 20, this from 43. Cowboys have 148 yards offense in about 20 minutes of clock time. They haven't yet found the end zone. And Mendola is true, but as is almost always the case, touchdowns beat field goals, and Texas lead is 8. General admission for the students here this year, it's a change. They had stormed the castle against LSU. It was disorderly. Now they've changed the policy. You get lined up behind these barriers. It's like airport security without the TSA pre-check, and they come in very slowly, and they still haven't got in here. So some have just given up, I think, and stayed out.
Call it night.
Duvernay will not have to return it as it bounces out of bounds for a penalty. They're looking for improved blocking on the edge of the wide receivers. Hasn't always been great this year. Ellinger backpedaling, thinking about running, and now he'll just scoot for a short gain forced out by Antwine.
No question that Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator from Oklahoma State, is saying that, listen, they're not going to get home. They're not going to get to Sam Ellinger with rushing just 3, but he's willing to take that chance of dropping 8 into coverage and making Sam Ellinger hold on to the football.
It's tough, but you got a quarterback, as you pointed out, such a command of the offense in his 3rd year, and then such a dangerous runner when things break down. 2nd down, and Johnson will get nothing. Once again, Malcolm Rodriguez continues his strong play this season.
Yeah, that's what you want to see from the linebackers and the safeties of this Jim Knowles defense. The defensive line eat up those linemen the best that they can to free up guys like Rodriguez to be turned loose and get downhill in a hurry. And now they got Ellinger again in 3rd down.
Not everybody wants to take on the challenge of being a defensive coordinator in the Big 12. He came from Duke.
Exactly.
Horns need 7 on this 3rd down.
So when Sam looks over, he's looking, and the offensive coordinators are trying to determine, is it going to be a too high look, 2 safeties, or are they disguising and going to change their look after the snap of the ball, which they are doing.
He's snapping it 2. Ellinger has plenty of time. Now he's going to roll out and has to flip it short. Catch made by Johnson. And Johnson, converted quarterback, was the outlet receiver. 1st down at the 35.
So they did exactly what Knowles wanted. They showed that too high look and then changed. Watch those safeties change. They go to the middle. They play man. They fooled Sam Ellinger. Very, very fortunate to get the ball to Johnson and then for him to break that tackle and then be able to pick up that 1st down. So Knowles trying to show one look because he knows Sam's looking over. Try to make them think they're in one coverage and then go to another after the snap.
At 15 yards on 3rd and 7, and Johnson knocked down. Texas continues to just convert 3rd downs at a crazy clip. 5 for 6 tonight, and they were close to 60% of the season coming in.
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with being in 3rd and manageable, but also having a veteran quarterback that can throw accurately and can also take off, extend, and sometimes take off and run for those 1st downs.
Play action. Ellinger flips it deep. The end zone and over the head of Epps in coverage was Rodarius Williams. 3rd down.
And keep in mind, Epps is 6'5", and you think that that's an advantage, but Williams, who's a veteran, he's been on, this is his 30th start tonight. He's at 6 feet, about 187 pounds, and has long arms. So both A.J. Green, who's an all-conference corner, 4 on one side, and Williams, who is in coverage there, both have great length to match up with the size of these Texas receivers.
Another 3rd down. Each guy's made 29 starts. They've played a lot of football. Empty backfield. Cowboys do bring some late pressure. Ball out quickly. Catch made, but this time Duvernay cannot get 1st down yardage. Harvell Peel stopped him right there. It's 4th down and 3.
And a change-up by Jim Knowles there. Looks like they're going to go hurry up. That time he blitzed instead of just rushing the 3, and it worked.
So hurry up. Trying to catch the Cowboy defense. Winded and not lined up. Doesn't work. They hand it off to Johnson, and he is hammered. And that Oklahoma State sideline comes to life as the Cowboys defense gets a stop.
Now that is a great effort by Oklahoma State on 4th down, getting lined up and then being able to get penetration, outfight the Texas offensive line, and come up with that big stop. See Sterling on the backside helping out.
Needed a spark. Maybe that was it. Still down 8. Streets of Austin empty and quiet. Folks that don't have a ticket inside watching the game. That was not the case the last couple of nights, partner. I promise you. Wow, man, they are all over Chuba Hubbard. They said not tonight, number 30. The Canadian has been corralled.
Absolutely. And again, it's the corner Jamison. You're going to see him fly up out of nowhere on a blitz, blows the play up right there, undercuts the receiver trying to make a block. He never had a chance with that blitz. Good call by Todd Orlando to get him in there quickly.
They fake it to him, and now Sanders from the pocket launches a downfield shot. Johnson caught it inside the 5. Braden Johnson with a huge play sets up the Pokes first and goal.
You know, you're used to Wallace being that guy, but at the slot, this time it's one-on-one with one of the top defensive backs and Chris Brown. Perfect throw, by the way, by Sanders to lead him that way.
Hubbard now tries to bounce it to the edge. He'll be dropped for a loss. Brandon Jones having a monster first half.
He sure has. That's his third big play here in this first half. Came up with that big 4th down play where he's able to get penetration. His job is to protect that edge, and he's doing a heck of a job of that, especially down inside deep in their own territory.
He's a guy that you pointed out ripped the ball out of the hands of Dylan Sonnenberg, prevented a big play earlier. So great first half for the Longhorns safety.
Texas rotating 5 new players in for this play. Wallace at the bottom of your screen.
Keeper. Sanders can't escape. Drop for a loss again by Taquan Graham. Pokes going backwards.
Now he actually misreads this. Got to be careful of predetermining your read. If he collapses, you pull. If he stays wide, you get him. He kind of baited him, made it look like he was going to go at the back, and instead stayed wide. Misread there by the freshman.
Diamond formation. Hubbard's one of 4 receivers to the left, but Sanders wants to run it. Can he get there? Dives, scores! You see the speed of the quarterback, and Oklahoma State finds the end zone for the first time.
That's all individual effort there. That play was taken away by Texas's defense on the quarterback draw. He ends up bouncing that to the outside. Caden Stearns, one of the better tacklers on this team, is there to make the play, and he just uses a stiff arm to get outside and around him, and then he's able to get to the end zone. Big time play there on 3rd down.
19-year-old making his 4th start. He has looked poised tonight. He has recovered from the overthrow, the interception that set up the Texas touchdown. That's what we're going to watch for. Could he bounce back on the road? So far he has.
It was interesting to see him mature right before our eyes. Makes a mistake, goes over. You could see Mike Gundy teaching, coaching. There's the stiff arm, leads him down 6 plays, 70 yards, makes a few throws, makes that big run right there. Oklahoma State right back in business.
1-point game.
How can you not be impressed with Spencer Sanders, the redshirt freshman, and this first half that he has had? 9 of 11, 164 yards, running around, making some plays, keeping his team fighting here in this first half.
That was funky because a fair catch was signaled for, and then Smith stepped out of the way, let it hit the ground, but the fair catch stands, and it'll start at the 25.
You like those largemouth bass?
Ellinger, downfield shot, man wide open, catch made, Brandon Eagles able to catch the spinner, touchdown, Texas. Churn with the running game, and then take the home run shot, 73 yards, Kirk.
And that's a miscue by the defense. Just a mental error by a veteran corner who's an all-conference player in A.J. Green. He came off of Eagles and actually went to the inside receiver. So a mental error, the first bust we've seen by this Oklahoma State secondary. And there's the veteran vision of Sam Ellinger seeing the bust and making the accurate throw for another big play.
Lightning fast sophomore from Houston. That's the 7th catch he has already this year of 25-plus yards. Texas answers the Oklahoma State touchdown and stretches the lead back to 8. Body blows, Kirk, and then the haymaker. Longest play from scrimmage for Texas this season, and they're back up 21-13.
Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about in the first half. When Texas can run the ball, they are basically lulling your secondary to sleep.
And now Sanders breaking tackles. Can he get the edge? Yes, he can. He just blazes out to the 30. Pokes with exactly 2 minutes to work with before halftime. They have all 3 timeouts.
Boy, how pretty is he when he gets out into the open space? I mean, Oklahoma State, they've had some great quarterbacks come through this program. Been a long time since they had a guy that can run like this.
Maybe never. Catch made by McCray, and he plows out across the 40. Some tremendous pocket passers. Mason Rudolph, they couldn't run, but this guy is a different gear.
Yeah, and they've had some guys that were dual guys, but this is a different deal. And he can throw the football. He's got a big arm.
And we've seen that in the first half. Hubbard, can they get him loose? Delayed handoff, and he barrels into Texas territory. So quickly, in about 30 seconds, they're threatening again. Haven't had to use a timeout yet.
Great call with the draw to get the lineman up into those linebackers' faces.
Hubbard loose again. Orlando said in this league, you don't really have the 2-minute offense until the last 45 seconds of the half. No. You just do your regular stuff.
That's right. That's right.
Sanders bobbles the snap, and he'll be swarmed for a big loss. Mitchell got there, but the timing thrown off as he took a peek upfield.
I think he did. As the ball was in the air, I think he's looking upfield to kind of decide what he wants to do with the football. And just by taking his eyes off the ball just for a split second, caused that fumble. Again, part of the growing of a freshman quarterback. Really.
3rd and 9. Sanders launching. Wallace and another receiver. Jump ball broke it up. Don't know if that's the way they drew it up because Wolf and Wallace drew 2 DBs to that corner.
No, that's not what you want. Ideally, as an offense, to have 2 defensive backs there and 2 receivers going up for the football. My guess is number 2 is in the right spot. My thought is if I'm a quarterback, 3rd down near the end of the half, I'm looking, where is 2? There he is. I'm going to be throwing it downfield to him and let him do his thing.
So the Cowboys trying to cut into this lead before halftime stall, and Tom Hutton, the punter, is on within the time. Hutton boots it high with backspin, and Smith will come up, bobbles, and it's a muff, and a scrum at the 15. Is this a freshman mistake? It will set up Oklahoma State. We'll see who's got the football. Looks like the Cowboys have it. So the muff with 45 seconds by the freshman gives the Pokes a serious chance to cut into this lead.
Well, it looked like Harville Peel was down there. I mean, you can see they're in perfect position. There's 31. Yeah, I think it is. I think the safety, the starting safety, it's exactly who got his hands on the ball. There's a melee there at the beginning. And eventually 31 off to the left. Ball bounces right to him. And he does a good job of collapsing. And now Oklahoma State, outstanding opportunity here.
1 turnover for each team. Sanders took a quick peek and then took off, but he was slammed right at the line of scrimmage there by Osai.
Osai read that, got off of the block, and made that play in a hurry, or that had a chance for big yards. Wallace is at the bottom. They've got 2 defenders on him now.
Sanders looking that way, now flips it underneath, and wow, big shot delivered to the legs of Chuba Hubbard. He is cut down, and the man who hit him, Green, paid a price. So the full playbook is open to them with those timeouts to use.
You always wonder if you use Wallace as a decoy or if you put him where you think he can make a play.
Hubbard barreling forward, still charging, reaches the football, marked short.
How about that for power? I mean, that's, you want to know how he can run? I love his body lean when he runs in between tackles. Look at him, lower his shoulder, takes that big hit.
He thought he scored.
By Brown. I think his knee's down. He's at about the 1 yard line. But he accelerates through that hole and through the collision.
1st and goal. Hubbard, touchdown. Oklahoma State converts the muff into 6 points and once again cuts into the lead.
Well, that was very good patience by Hubbard, even though it was a short run. Texas had a little bit of penetration and a pulling guard by Oklahoma State, and they got up into his face, and he just kind of sidestepped that penetration and then got into the end zone. That is a big turn of events there at the end of this first half.
On his 19th carry in the half, his 8th rushing touchdown this season. So each team's had a freshman player make a mistake that set up a touchdown for the other side. And it's once again a one-point game. And we had a 38-point second quarter after 3 points in the first quarter. We're just getting warmed up.
Oh, the second half, I promise you, it's going to even get better.
Kevin Nagandi, Mark Sanchez, Jonathan Bilba. The halftime report coming up right after these messages here on ABC. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Maria Taylor caught our breath at halftime. First half that featured 7 scoring possessions and 3 punts. We are on pace, Kirk, for 1,000 yards of total offense. Ellinger and the Horns get it to begin the third quarter.
Yeah, you can expect more of the same. And the interesting thing is both these coaches are known for their in-game adjustments, especially the offensive side of the football. So this is a long way to go. I think both teams kind of feeling each other out, and now we see how they make the adjustments to really see if they can take advantage of the defenses that they've seen in the first half.
Todd Orlando, defensive coordinator for Texas, calls it the NBA here in the Big 12. Lots of scoring runs, back and forth, momentum shifts, and then it comes down to the final couple possessions usually.
It does. It really does.
Off by McClure, and it is Duvernay at the goal line. And the receiver, who's such a productive part of the offense in the first half, hit hard at the 21-yard line. Here's our Pacific Life game summary.
Well, it's been a really good first half for Sam Ellinger, 10 of 14. The accuracy right here, the first touchdown pass, recognizing and seeing a bust in coverage and capitalizing with a throw to Eagles to put them up 14-3. But it's been back and forth. So this was a miscue late in that first half by the freshman Jake Smith. Oklahoma State jumps on it, and then they get the football late before the half, and they're able to capitalize to make this a one-point game to set up a should be a really interesting second half.
Ellinger has plenty of time and delivers a strike across the middle. It's Duvernay again. It's a first down again.
We pointed him out in the slot, and he works his way over to the middle, kind of eyeing that safety and trying to determine where he might be, Harville Peel, but does a good job coming back to the football there on third and medium. And I tell you, I think the more this year goes on, Sam Ellinger and Duvernay always seem to be in sync on third down.
Ingram. Little crease, quick burst, shows his strength. He has just been extremely strong after contact again tonight.
Also the vision. That play is designed to work to the left. But you can tell by the flow of the defense that he had to bounce that all the way back to the right and find that hole for those big yards.
16-yard gain. Ellinger looking to throw on first down. It's a downfield shot. Looping play over the head of Malcolm Epps. Williams in coverage.
Great job by Ellinger reading Jim Newell's defense. They showed one look, again, went to another, and what they went to is single coverage. And the receiver this time, Epps, went right by the veteran Williams, the progressive pylon cam showing you how closely they came to connecting. But that's great recognition after the snap by Ellinger. He found the matchup. They're just unable to hit it.
Second down, handoff to Ingram, and he's swarmed right there. 1 yard loss. Trey Sterling, the backup safety, got him. Texas crowd wanted a flag for the enthusiastic tackle.
Well, it's because they got called on them. You know, they had one of their defenders make a similar tackle. The difference was that player threw the running back from Oklahoma State on the ground and whipped him into the ground. And that's what made that call.
Once again, Ellinger called on to make a sharp play on third down. This time they need 11. Ellinger looking to his right, and it's incomplete. Bounce and try to get the ball to John Burt. A.J. Green in coverage. Excuse me, Eagles was the intended receiver.
At the top of the route, there was a little bit of contact, and that's what I think the crowd is reacting to. Remember, Green is a veteran, making his 30th start tonight. See where he grabbed a hold of him at the top of the route? And Eagles is trying to get out of that grasp and trying to get back to the ball, and the officials let it go.
Just the second punt tonight for Ryan Bachevsky. He'll try to pin The Pokes deep. Dylan Stoner is the returner at his 8-yard line. And once again, well, this time it's going to work out better. It's going to bounce backward. Not ideal execution because they can't down it before it bounces back to the 18-yard line. And that's where Oklahoma State will take over for their first possession of the third quarter. But again, Orlando, as you said, mission 1, contain number 30. So far, done a pretty good job. They fake it to him, and Sanders throws it across the middle, and the catch is made by Stoner, who takes a shot but holds on. Stearns hit him for the first down at the 44. He is down on the field. Stearns.
See, when the linebackers start to cheat up, there's going to be nice holes behind that, and I think Stoner's a guy that they have a lot of confidence in. While Wallace gets all the credit, they say that Stoner's probably the hardest worker on the team. Just a gym rat, a tough guy, and a great leader. There, he does a good job of concentrating, knowing he's about to get a big hit there by Stearns.
Stearns still out. Sanders escapes, shows that speed around the edge, tiptoes for first down yardage.
It's a good job with his speed to get to the outside, but also good job of blocking by Stoner, and especially Wallace, too. Watch him stay on his guy. He works to the inside, then he climbs and goes back to Boyce to corner to give him room to get to that first down. Unselfish superstar, one of the top receivers in the country, known for his ability to catch the ball, but I love what he does without the ball in his hands.
Again, the burst from Sanders is just elite. Hubbard sheds tackles. We're beginning to get number 30 lose it. He's just getting warmed up. That's yet another carry, is 22nd.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It does feel like he's just getting better as this game goes on, and also better blocking to give him a chance at least to get upfield. At that time, they worked the edge of that defense of Texas.
Keeper again. Similar play. He kind of starts inside, goes outside. Wallace makes a block again.
They're finding an area that they want to take advantage of.
And there's a scuffle over there.
Hit late there towards the boundary. You see the leverage that they have. Texas not aligned to the outside. Gives it easy for them to get to on the edge of this defense.
Chris Brown laid a hit after Sanders had clearly crossed out of bounds. And that penalty will move the football into the red zone. First down at the 17 as Oklahoma State tries to reclaim the lead for the first time since it was 3-zip.
We talked about adjustments, in-game adjustments by Gundy and Herman, and how good they are at doing that. So far, what we're seeing is they want to run the ball and try to get it to the outside and work the corners and the edges, make tackles out there.
Hubbard shows his patience. He's so complete as a back, known as a sprinter in Canada. I mean, the junior world champion. He was that good on the track. Hasn't had a chance to get really in the open field yet tonight.
But what I see is just instincts as a runner, too. I mean,
2nd and 11 after a false start, and Hubbard runs into traffic. They're just trying to run to the short side of the field now.
Chris, whenever I talk to you about Wallace and why having Wallace out there, you have to put a safety back here because he maybe could go there. Well, when they do that, you've got to be able to run that way. If they're going to keep their safeties back, it makes it easy. Look at all that space and that cushion. That's what they're looking at. If you're going to have a safety behind Wallace, take advantage.
Big play here, 3rd and 4. Texas subbing some guys trying to get lined up now. Sanders takes off and sidesteps a tackle but does not get the first down. Jawan Mitchell in space did his job, and it's 4th down, about 1.5 yards.
Not only did he do his job, he took on a block from Johnny Wilson, got around him, and then made the tackle. See the 10 plays, 74 yards, only 1 pass. Expect that field goal. Get him the lead.
Amendola, the rare Pennsylvanian in this game, with so many guys from Texas and Oklahoma. From 27 for the lead. Straight down the middle. And it was an impressive drive by Oklahoma State. 11 plays, and they reclaim a 2-point lead on the road. So now an important possession for Texas coming up as Oklahoma State, with its first possession of the second half, drove it 74 yards, and they're back in front. Ellinger, long throw. Duvernay not able to escape this time. His numbers would have been better, Kirk, but he had so many injuries his senior year. Both knees, the meniscus injured, broke his hand, then broke his wrist. Finally, that did it for the year, the fourth injury, and that messed with his mechanics and really set him back when he got to Texas.
Sure did. Between his freshman and sophomore year, Tom Herman really feels that's the area in the time that he improved the most with his release, making it a lot quicker coming off those injuries.
He's healthy now, and he's off and running and bulldozing his way out across the 40 for a first down. It all starts, you know, with your legs, right? Your footwork, your accuracy. When your knees are gimpy, you can't really kind of get settled in and improve.
Yeah. Even last year, he was playing with a hurt shoulder, and for a guy that's a power-running quarterback, that can take a toll as well.
Got 15 on the run. Now finds Duvernay, who splits defenders and dives near the marker into Oklahoma State territory.
Yeah, and he's just counting the numbers. That's either a run. If the defense is outside too far on the pass game, he'll hand it off, or if they're in too tight, he'll throw it to the outside. Just a simple run-pass option. He reads that as quickly as anybody and gets the ball out there quickly.
It's a keeper on first down. And it's on second and short for a first down inside the 45.
And they'll sprinkle that zone read in. That's not a run-pass option. That's a zone read where he's actually reading the defensive end who collapsed down on Ingram. And that's why he pulled it out and kept that. It's an option read. A little bit of everything in this offense.
And that's Epps coming back. Tried him a couple times in a deep shot. This time they just take the cushion.
And just to put you into the mind of Jim Knowles right now, this is life in the Big 12. I'm willing to give up yards. If we keep the ball in front of us as a defense and they're moving the ball, but we're going to make them execute in the red zone. That's our goal. Give up the yards, don't give up the big one, and make them execute in the red zone.
Duvernay on the edge. They're getting close to the red zone. Another monster night for the senior. 12 targets, 11 catches.
Yeah, you don't want to ever say, oh, yeah, no problem, just move the ball down. But honestly, that's kind of the theory in the Big 12. Try to keep it in front. You got to make tackles. You don't want yards after the catch. But make them be able to execute 10, 11, 12 plays. And especially when things start getting tighter, the closer they get to the end zone.
Duvernay lost his shoe and has to come out for the moment. It's a relief for the Pokes secondary.
He is a powerful man.
Ingram, reverse, flea flicker. They tricked him, and Texas touchdown to Cade Brewer. Longhorns reclaim the lead.
The Oklahoma State defense got lost in a big way. Not expecting Brewer right here, kind of delaying, and then eventually sliding down that left sideline, and Rodriguez just lost it.
What'd you say? Everything in this offense? But we saw a lot right there.
Yeah, that's right. You saw it all right there.
Reverse flea flicker, and the tight end sneaks out.
There's a clinic for you right there.
So Texas answers the long march by Oklahoma State. They did it quick. 2:32 to move 75 yards, and it's the Longhorns back in front as the quarterback finds the tight end for his first touchdown reception of the season. Texas back in front. That was a fun play, Kurt.
Yeah, it was. Cade Brewer, the tight end, he's got to be the happiest guy in the world. They practice that probably every day, and he's thinking, man, coach, one time you got to call that play. And to call it into the boundary, we were talking at the break how quickly the execution of that happens. Luckily, it ends up back in the hands of Ellinger, who can throw the ball and get it out of his hands quickly.
Yeah, 4 guys touch the ball in tight spaces. Brown from the 5. Knocked down across the 25. And now Hubbard off and running, still energized, even though that's his 29th carry tonight. We're still in the third quarter.
I think he may be heading to 40 tonight.
They said they didn't want to do that, but that has once again been bulk of the game plan. Feed number 30. It'll come down to the fourth quarter. Texas up 5. Oklahoma State threatening. Back to Austin after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Fourth quarter here, and Oklahoma State threatening to reclaim the lead. On second and short, Sanders rolls and fires into heavy traffic. Dangerous throw because Brandon Jones was in the area and he broke it up.
Again, late with the football and with his legs, easy first down. Avoid this third down and short. And Jones, a veteran, comes around, able to make a play, but what you couldn't see there is if he wanted it, Sanders able to easily pick up that first down.
Hubbard again on short yardage is not going to get there, and it's fourth down.
And now you really go back to that second down play where he could have taken off and run. And again, we're talking about a freshman that's had a big night. It just tells you the little areas that he'll continue to grow and continue to make better decisions. Avoid that third and short, which would then avoid this fourth down and short.
Here come the big bodies. They have been getting beat up front, this Oklahoma State offensive line. If they're going to win this game, it's time to change that. They're going to bring a field goal team. Amendola, with the clock winding down, trotted out late for a 39-yarder.
Gundy, you're always aware of the fake.
And it is a fake. And it's pitched into heavy traffic, and Texas was not fooled, and they stuff it.
Again, I said with Mike Gundy, you just never know, right? But after the delay of game, you're thinking, oh, they're going to probably kick it. Now, they tried to throw this to Woods, the big tight end, and there was such penetration, it never had a chance. Here he is right here. But watch, look at Texas. They were expecting it. In fact, Chris Brown, 15, had his arms wrapped around the big tight end, thinking that he might get the football. That play never had a chance.
They were not fooled at all. They were thinking what you were thinking. This is Mike Gundy. We're not buying the field goal attempt, down 5. Empty possession for Oklahoma State. Texas back on offense, up 5. Beautiful scene from the blimp as Don't Stop Believing, like Journey has played. Remember when cell phones didn't have flashlights?
Yeah.
And you couldn't read a menu in a dark restaurant?
Exactly.
So the incomplete shovel pass on the fake field goal, and Texas takes over at the 27. And Ellinger is thinking about throwing. And why not to Duvernay as they quickly move the sticks to the 44.
Nice job of reading the safety coming up. And when he came up, again, Ellinger, who has answers to every question, has a quick answer and a quick throw there on the RPO.
100-yard night for Duvernay on 12 catches now. And you feed Ingram for a first down gain. How do you stop Duvernay if you're a defense in this league? Look at what he's put on tape now.
You got to have a guy that can play in space and is built similarly and has the kind of attributes physically that he has, because in this scheme you can't put 2 guys on him. It'll make you pay for it in other areas.
Ingram bangs for a first down. So find a fast guy who can squat 600 and put him on. That's why you got to do it.
That's it. Good luck with that. Man, he's been fun to watch, and such a different aspect to their offense with him at the slot. Because you know about his burst and how quick he is, but with the low center of gravity, you mentioned 600-pound squatter, he breaks through a lot of tackles and then has the quickness to take it to the distance, take it to the house.
Ellinger has time and flips it short. Flag down as Ingram makes the catch and spins into the secondary, still running. Down to the 7. Now we'll have to check the flag on the far side of the field. In the defensive backfield. It's going to stand the penalty against Oklahoma State. 100-yard rushing. You've seen what a dangerous receiver he has been really throughout the entire month. He's trying to catch his breath over there on a hot night. 26-yard gain for number 26.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 4. Half the distance to the end of the play. First down.
So that'll march it inside the 5. Texas up 5. First and goal.
How about going back to the 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, the 4th one, the delay, the fake field goal. Texas gets the ball back. See the face mask up at the top. Right there, grabs onto Eagles. But missed opportunity by Oklahoma State. Ellinger in Texas gets the ball and trying to really create some separation.
Ellinger's still got it. Dancing around, and he'll just lower the shoulder. Tried to get cute early to say, you know what, I'm just going to try to power my way in, and he got close.
Well, what I like to see is the power running and the way he lowers that shoulder. I mean, as a defender, you're thinking, here comes the quarterback, right? Well, not this quarterback. It's more like here comes the fullback when he pulls it down in this area.
You didn't love the fullback label because he's a great thrower, but he does run like a fullback in short yardage.
It's like a Tim Tebow type of runner down here.
We take that compliment.
Yeah, he should.
Roshan Johnson is the back to his right. And he's got it, and he scores. Texas stretching the lead. Up 11, they'll go for two. Another long Texas march, and they are finding the end zone when they get to the red zone. The Pokes are not very often.
That's exactly right. 3 for 3. And that, again, that's an area that's a strength because of the quarterback and because of this system that they run.
Had 2 touchdowns outside the red zone. As you said, they're 3 for 3 in the red zone. And Oklahoma State, a couple field goals, turnover on downs. They were just short of the red zone for that last 4th down stop on the fake field goal. Bunch to the right, empty backfield for the 2-point conversion. Ellinger zips it out. Catch made by Johnson, fighting, and he's in the end zone as a flag comes in again. There's a point right here. So let's check that first.
14, that will be enforced on the kickoff.
Just incredibly unselfish. Here he is again. Hadn't played running back since the 5th grade. Looks so natural. Scores the touchdown, adds the 2-pointer. The lead is 13. Touchdown after they snuffed out the fake field goal attempt. Gives Texas their biggest lead of the night. 13 points early 4th quarter. A personal foul on the 2-point conversion makes it easy for Dicker to reach the stands with that kickoff. Averaging almost 8 per carry. Now Sanders. Can he escape this? Yes, he can. Still running the short game, but it should have been a big loss. Stearns finally got him.
Yeah, the late blitz ends up getting home, but just unable to bring him down. He shows you how elusive he can be. Watch Osai get in there. Right there, he's got him. In fact, a few other guys all get their hands on him. Can't bring him down.
Stoner with a catch on the edge. He gets a nice block, delivers a blow rather than takes it. That was Stearns. They've played it a couple times tonight.
Oklahoma State cranking up this tempo, trying to wear this Texas defense down. That's 71 plays, still with 10 minutes to go in this 4th quarter that this Texas defense has had to defend.
1st and 15 now. Sanders fires into traffic. Jump ball incomplete. Wallace was trying to beat 2 guys, Boyce and Stearns.
Well, that's been the story of the night for Wallace. I mean, he has a reputation of making those circus catches.
Hayden Stearns helped off, joining Jalen Green as Texas starting DBs out of the game at the moment. Did not look like Stearns is likely to return. We'll get more information from Maria if we can. Chuba Hubbard churning and driving. It'll be 3rd down and about 9 now.
Brendan Jones, the one starter in that secondary who's played a lot of football, 19. He's got to help a lot of youth and a lot of inexperience back there. They're misaligned on this play.
Sanders' ball comes out awkwardly, intercepted. He was hit as he threw the football. And Chris Brown makes the pick. There is a flag down. Near where the offensive line was.
Watch Coburn right here. He's known for his size at 340 pounds, but he does a good job of getting the pressure on Sanders that forced the ball to go up into the air, and then Brown comes up with the interceptions. Sanders, and that's what put the ball up into the air, and the athletic Chris Brown makes the play.
2nd interception by Sanders, who had 1 total in the first 3 games. So Texas in plus territory, up 13.
That's one way to help some inexperience and youth in that secondary. Get a good pass rush.
So Texas forcing the 3 and out, taking over in plus territory, looking to just bleed out more of this clock and snap this 5-game home losing streak against Oklahoma State. Sean Johnson cradles the ball in 2 arms and gets 2 yards.
They were working that play clock and just content with a 13-point lead to have that approach, which obviously makes a lot of sense.
In Texas, this would be very satisfying on a number of levels. The offense again played well. The defense has risen up after halftime, and that had been the problem, allowing just a field goal after the break. Big 4th down stop, and then the fake field goal shovel pass snuffed out. Ellinger batted down through it right into the arms of Kevin Henry, the linebacker.
Well, it's a nice play by Henry, who just times it up perfectly. And not only is he able to knock it down, but he stops the clock.
Tried for Duvernay one more time on that slant. Ingram back in the game. He can run the play clock down. Need 8 on 3rd down. Ingram stutter steps, fights, but comes up 3 yards short. It's Henry, and it's 4th down. Lost the shoe again. So Texas has tilted the field and been playing in this end lately, and see if they punt it down there again.
Yeah, and again, Tom Herman, we just talked about complementary football and playing smart. Of course, he'd love to just keep scoring. The offensive coordinator in him would love to just keep firing away and coming up with points with his talented offense, but instead he's very wise, works that clock, trying to get out of here with a win. And think about, you become the offensive coordinator at Ohio State with Urban Meyer, and then you win a national championship in 2014, and the next day you're flying to Houston to become the head coach of the Houston Cougars.
Fair catch made at the 9. Hubbard, they run it down 13, a long way from the end zone, hoping he can just bust a real long one.
Well, under 5 minutes to go. You're down 13, but the way these offenses score in this conference, if you're Todd Orlando, man, with all these new faces in the secondary, you're holding on.
Here's a run. Sanders takes off. We get a 1st down. You'd think maybe they'd want to attack the secondary, which is so depleted.
Well, but man, they're keeping everybody back. They're just trying to keep Wallace, Stoner, and everybody in front of them. But they've got to try to come up with a way to hit a crease.
Hubbard, man, he's going to get 100 yards tonight, but he's really had to earn it. Yeah. 35 carries now for 104, 3 yards a pop. That's it.
Yeah, a great effort. Texas wanted to come in and take him out and make Sanders throw to win. Right now, Sanders needs to make a big play.
And he's looking downfield, and he launches one into double coverage, and no flag. Two defenders on Wallace.
To me, that's an example where McCray could do a better job of working back to the ball, really selling it, and showing him work back to the football. Ball's a little underthrown. Throw yourself back into the body of the defender, and you might get a call there.
There's McCray, who had drawn the attention of 2 backup Texas defenders. 3rd and 6. And the motion Wallace to the left side. Sanders was looking that direction, has time, fires, and had a man running wide open underneath. That was C.J. Moore. Overshot him, 4th down. Got pressured again.
You and I are seeing the same thing, and I think that pressure took that throw away, Chris, because Moore, the freshman, was wide open, but closing in on him was Bimage right into his face as he was trying to release the football, and I think that caused him to not be able to come down and follow through, and the ball sailed on him. You got to give Texas's defensive line a lot of credit for the way they have played. Being able to keep a safety back to help against Wallace required that front playing incredibly well, and they sure did that tonight against the run.
And now after the penalty, they bring out the punter, Tom Hutton. He boots it very high and short, and an idiotic play. I got to say it, there's just no other reason Brandon Jones went sliding in to make the catch, and a second time it's been muffed tonight. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I can't believe this. It's a veteran, too, because Smith, the freshman, makes a mistake, and you think, well, it's a freshman that makes a mistake, and this time it's a veteran, a senior, and Brandon Jones sliding, just trying to make that play before the ball could have a chance to bounce, which at this point in the game is irrelevant. And Tom Herman is going to have some things to work on in the special teams when he gets his team together on Sunday or Monday.
Severin recovered the second muff for a Longhorn punt return tonight, and the Pokes have life now. They're in the Texas end of the 46. Hubbard running hard, showing that endurance.
And if you're thinking, why do they keep running Hubbard? If you're looking at the clock's working its way down. You know, they're taking. I am too at this point. I wasn't before. It was about 7 or 8 minutes to go. But now he's got to find a vertical crease.
Sanders again. Protection breaks down. He has to flip it underneath. And battling is Hubbard. Chris Adamora, the true freshman, stopped him.
It's one of those where you'd like to see maybe Hubbard just get to the sideline, right? Get out of bounds and kill that clock. Slow it down anyway, as opposed to cutting back into the inside.
From the pocket, Sanders was looking to throw downfield. Escapes, tries to make it happen with his feet. Shows his burst, still running. Cutting back. Sanders. Stiff arm, finally wrestled down inside the 15. Electric runner.
You know, if nothing else, if you're an Oklahoma State fan, you've got a quarterback for the next 3 years after this year. I mean, you have a big-time playmaker who can do all the running and the throwing, but showing you the heart of a fighter.
Got 33 yards, now surveys the end zone, has all day to throw, finally late pressure, and he just has to fling it out of bounds. They have all 3 timeouts, a minute 50. Score here, conceivably, but even worry about the onside kick. You can use those timeouts, kick it deep, but first things first.
Yeah, first, remember, they've been in the red zone all night tonight, and even close to the red zone at times, and have struggled to be able to come away with points 5 times down inside the 20, only 2 touchdowns.
Sanders for the end zone. Broken up beautifully. Landon Wolf was streaking there, but Chris Adamora, a freshman, pressed into service because of the injuries, made that play.
Are you kidding me? Adamora goes airborne. Wolf's behind him. Adamora doesn't play a lot of football, but the instincts to be able to get back just enough in coverage and knock that ball away. That's great preparation there. Good play.
Talk about a baptism. If he's gotten snaps, it's in mop-up time. Now he's in there against Wallace and these receivers trying to protect a lead.
That's why you always listen in meetings. Never know when you're going to have your chance, right?
3rd and 10. They run. Hubbard left. Texas strings it out, but he turns the corner, tight ropes, and scores. Oklahoma State carves into the lead. 1:37 to play.
Boy, great suddenness and quickness by Chuba. And how about the block by 17 off to your left? Watch that block. Gives him that corner. Picks up another block right there by McCray. And with the speed, he gets to the end zone for the touchdown. The progressive pylon cam, just to make sure. Love those wide receivers blocking, man. Love to see that downfield.
And the 37th carry for the workhorse, who had 32 a week ago. And they said, we hope we never have to run him 32 times. Guess what? A busier night. Hasn't really broken a big game, but has reached the end zone for the 2nd time. And the PAT makes it a 6-point game. Folks have all 3 timeouts to use. Texas is defending this as though it's an onside kick.
Yeah.
Nobody closer to the goal line than the 38-yard line.
Wallace all the way at the bottom, as he said.
Texas has spotted him. Kick comes the other way. Side spin. It's loose. Still bouncing around. And the Longhorns have recovered it. And it's Adamora, the freshman DB, who makes another big play.
Oh, my gosh. How about when he came over to the stadium today? What's he thinking about? I mean, is he thinking he's going to be on the field for these kind of plays? Ball's in the air, by the way, right there. Oklahoma State, 2 players have their hands on it, and he's happened to land in his hands.
It's off the face mask.
Right, whatever it takes, right? That ball was bouncing all over the place.
You make a great point. I mean, you just never know in this sport. You got to pay attention to the meetings. You got to pay attention, work hard in practice, because you just never know when you're going to be forced to make 2 potentially game-saving plays in the fourth quarter.
All right, now here you go. Minute 34, all 3 timeouts remaining. Now this Oklahoma State defense has got to make plays, assume the run is obviously coming, and attack the line of scrimmage. Of course, the last time I was in this statement, I said, assume the run. Joe Burrow threw a touchdown pass. So you never know.
Folks are crowding the line. Ingram's got it, and he's got nowhere to go. So they'll stop him right there, and they'll use the first timeout. Abongmamiga made the tackle. 2nd and 9. Once again, it's no gain, so it's all about just making Gundy burn his timeouts. Still got 1.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get the ball back with a minute. Right now is when you want to start working with your freshman quarterback, going over certain aspects.
Let's see if they throw the football here, trying to get the first down. Ehlinger rolls out, tries to make it with his legs, makes a cut in the clear. Texas, first down, and much more, and that should do it.
And a great call by Texas and Tom Herman and Tim Beck. Are they going to run? No, they're not. They're going to either run it with Ehlinger or throw it potentially. They take away the pass, which suits Ehlinger just fine. He doesn't have to risk the throw, potentially an incompletion and stop the clock. Instead, uses those powerful legs to pick up the game-clinching first down for the Horns, who had to work tonight for this one.
He sure did. Ehlinger with 29 yards will finish with 70 on the ground. That's 7 yards per rush. 281 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, had the 1 interception, but the clutch play to not have to put the defense back on the field. The Pokes can stop it just one more time, and this will end that streak of 5 straight home field losses to Oklahoma State that went back to the Colt McCoy era, and it'll be the first win for the Longhorns seniors against the Cowboys.
So here we are, Texas, a team that has a chance to regroup, try to get healthy, see where they are before they go to Morgantown, and of course they go to Dallas and take on OU, and we'll find out where they are by then. For Oklahoma State, man, keep your head up. This is a good young football team that's going to have an interesting run this year with the skill that they have on offense. I love their quarterback.
Got a tough K-State team coming up next, but you're right. The electric running and throwing of Sanders kept the Cowboys in the game. But it's Texas, 36-30, and what has become typical of this rivalry. Very satisfying for Tom Herman. He's always preaching about the need, the desire, the drive for this program to be elite. That's a very high standard. He calls it the edge. They have to kind of achieve that last 3 or 4% that separates truly great teams. Needed to have this win tonight to stay on course. And let's go to Maria.
Thanks, Chris. They also needed to convert on 3rd down in the last play. You called your number. So walk me through that final play.
Yeah, we had been running wide zone all game, so we had that in the arsenal and decided to run a play action. Coach said, don't throw it unless he's wide open. So he wasn't wide open, so I decided to take off. I knew we needed a first down.
And you're still breathing hard from that long run. Walk me through what it's like to finally get a win against Oklahoma State. Remember, it was 5 in a row that they've come into Austin and walked out with a win.
Yeah, obviously an incredible program. They've had extreme success the last couple of years. We knew this team was different. We knew that we're better than previous years, and we knew if we played our best, we had a chance. And we didn't necessarily play our best, but we got to win.
I have to ask you about the reverse flea flicker. When that call comes in from Coach, I mean, what goes through your mind?
Here we go. Like I'm gonna trust it. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna trust it.
All right. Well, obviously, Coach trusts you. Congratulations on the win, Sam.
Thank you.
351 total offense, deeply trusted by everyone in Austin, including the coaches, and he has earned it.
Yeah, he has. Such a class act, a great football player, good decisions, 20 of 28 tonight, 4 touchdown passes. And I think tonight we saw not just the receivers, but Keontae Ingram healthy. You put those two together, that offense is going to be tough to stop all year in the Big 12.
It was a fun one in Austin. Longhorns snapped the streak against the Cowboys, 36-30. Tonight's game produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. Great to be back with the crew here. We'll see you next Saturday night for Ohio State at Nebraska, 7:30 Eastern here on ABC. Time now for the Ford Wrap-Up Show. And let's kick it to Cassidy Hubbard.